We have been waiting for a small capacity sport bike from Aprilia for over 5 years. What began life as the RS 150 has evolved into this, the RS 457. Yes, it's been a very long wait, but has it been worth it? In one word, yes. But if you want the long answer, keep watching. The RS 457 is Aprilia's first foray into small capacity sport bikes in India. The bike is manufactured in Piaggio's Baramati plant near Pune, and it is the most powerful made in India motorcycle. It is designed to be fast, fun and relatively affordable. But we'll get to that a little later. And speaking of the design, this RS 457 looks like a true blue Aprilia, like a scaled down RS V4. At the same time, it also feels very compact because the seat height is set really low, which means if you're short, you can get your feet on the ground very easily. And if you're taller, it's not too bad, but the footpegs are set on the higher side, which means if you're above 6 feet, this might feel a little cramped for you. Thankfully, the front does have a lot of room with this long and wide tank, but that means you have to lean forward to get to the bars. And that does put you in a slightly aggressive posture, but the bars are tall and not too aggressive. And that said, you have enough room for someone of my size to get into a full tuck with the chin on the tank without getting my bum on the back seat. And speaking of the back seat, it's actually quite small, making the bike look a little disproportionate. And speaking of things that don't look quite right, while the overall build quality of the RS 457 feels quite good, there are some areas which don't pass muster. Like, for example, the plastics around the fuel tank seem to scratch quite easily, especially near the knee area. But this is something that could be easily remedied by sticking on some tank grips, and apart from this, we didn't have any major complaints about the fit and finish. The RS 457 is powered by a 457cc liquid-cooled parallel twin motor. With 47.6 PS on tap, this is not only the most powerful bike engine that's made in India, but thanks to a 270-degree crank, it sounds fantastic too, almost like a BB V4. Now this parallel twin has pretty good specs on paper, but it's not the paper specs that are really impressive. What's most impressive is the way that power is delivered. Now yes, the motor is quite rev happy, but it doesn't feel peaky one bit. It has plenty of mid-range grunt, and even the bottom end feels quite tractable. In fact, I rode the bike in the pit lane in 4th gear at 20 kph, and the bike didn't seem to care one bit. One slight issue that all of us felt was that the gearbox was a bit clunky, especially when shifting down quickly. But that could be because our test bikes were factory fresh, and hopefully once they are running properly, the gearbox might get smoother. Thankfully, the slipper clutch does offer a very light pull. Heck, even on the racetrack in the corners, I could ride 1 gear higher and the bike still had plenty of grunt to come out of the corners carrying lots of speed. And that makes this bike a lot of fun on the racetrack, and it's quite usable as well. So whether you're in the city, on the highway or even on a winding mountain road, this motor will give you tons of fun. Of course, it doesn't have the same top end pull like the new Yamaha R3. And there are some vibes at very high rates too. But we did manage to see 160 kph on the speedo on the main straight at the Curry Motor Speedway. Considering that this straight has now been reduced in length, that is quite impressive. But this engine is only one part of what makes this bike so much fun. The other, of course, is its chassis, which is just sublime. Now this twin-spar frame and this compact packaging makes the bike feel quite compact and light and quite easy to maneuver, and changing directions is absolutely effortless. That's thanks to its fairly tight wheelbase and somewhat low curb weight of just 175 kilos. And even when leaned over, the RS feels very stable because it's running on the TVS Eurogrip Product Extreme tires, which in my book are some of the best tires you can get for this class of bike in India. Plus they are very affordable too, which means replacements should be very easy. The suspension felt excellent on the track, firm but not too hard. Now although we didn't ride the RS 457 on the road, we got the feeling that it should be able to handle regular bumps and potholes fairly easily. And on top of that, not only is the rear monoshock adjustable for preload, The front 41mm upside down fork is as well. So setting the bike up for heavier riders should be no trouble at all. Now I have one complaint, and it is a big one, and that is the brakes. Now they're pretty okay for the most part, but if you're pushing hard on a track like this, you tend to get brake fade very easily. In fact, all of us who rode the bikes today got bad brake fade after about 5 or 6 laps. In fact, on my 6th or 7th lap, I got such bad brake fade coming down the straight for C1 that the lever came all the way in and I completely overshot my braking marker. Thankfully, the chassis is so nimble that I could get the bike turned in just in time. The RS457 is fairly feature-packed too. It gets LED lighting all around and a 5-inch color TFT screen that lets you control the bike's comprehensive electronics package. Thanks to a ride-by via throttle, the RS has 3 riding modes: Sport, Eco and Rain. There is a 4-level traction control system as well, ranging from ADC3 with the highest intervention to completely off. You also get dual channel ABS as standard, with the ability to switch it off completely at the rear too. Now, Aprilia will offer smartphone connectivity and a quick shifter as optional accessories, but we can't comment on these as the test bikes didn't come with either. Now summing it up, I think the RS457 is the best small capacity parallel twin sport bike you can buy in the country right now. And speaking of buying, yes, it might seem a little pricey at rupees 4.10 lakh ex-showroom, but it's definitely worth it because you're getting a fantastic motor, a great chassis, lots of electronics, and look at it, it's a proper little Aprilia. On top of that, the RS457 is significantly more affordable than its direct competitors, the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and the Yamaha R3, and it offers more performance and features compared to these as well. Quite the one-sided battle here. Of course, it has some flaws which I'm sure can be fixed quite easily, and once they are, things will be just perfect. But what remains to be seen is Aprilia's service for the RS457. But if you own an Aprilia and you know about how the service experience is like, do let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.